Everyone, welcome to the podcast. As always, we are truly appreciative of everybody watching today. Before we start, I want to give a quick shout out to a good friend of Dave Cook and myself by the name of David Engel. He's been a longtime follower. Dave, I know he follows you as well. And as
Yeah.
always, we appreciate his interaction and everything he does for my brand and everybody else he follows. But anyway, today we have new friends and old friends. Joining us once again, we have Dave, we have PJ, we have Brandon Ballo, who is new to this show, but of course, no stranger to the podcast. And once again, we have Caitlin joining us again. So as always, guys, thanks so much for taking time tonight.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off. Let's talk about the Arnold a little bit. I know Brandon and Caitlin were there, and Sean will hopefully join us shortly. But Brandon, give us a quick highlight. Like, what were some of the highs? What were some of the lows? What did you like? And then Caitlin, I'll flip the question to you.
Yeah. So I only went on the Sunday, right? So I flew in from another expo, so I was there Sunday. The crowd on Sunday was good, right? It was pretty packed, kind of compared to like a Saturday of previous years. So I thought that was good just in terms of like the turnout. The booths that were there were awesome. I mean, I'm a traditionalist, right? And every aisle had a booth. End caps had booths, so there was no lack of like missing out on product, which is great. And then just the atmosphere in general made it fun. It reminded me of like the old days. So.
And Brandon, this is what, maybe your fourth or fifth, maybe more?
So I did the math. This is probably number 19.
19?
Yeah, 19.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the math. Yeah, if you count the year they canceled, this is probably number 19 I've attended. So.
Wow. And I had heard through the Jay Cutler podcast, whether it's true or not, that they were turning people away. They were doing posts and whatnot saying, do not show up to the expo. There's no tickets. We're at max capacity. Don't even attempt to show up. I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
Yeah, I tried my husband a ticket for Saturday, the morning of, and they were completely sold out. But luckily, I had a media pass, and he was my cameraman, so I was able to kind of work something out. But they weren't letting other people in. So there were apparently like 200,000 people there who walked through on Saturday. It was crazy, like shoulder to shoulder, but it was, like he said, the environment was just incredible.
So, Caitlin, it's been a couple of years since you've been there, correct? Was this your first time in a few years?
Yeah, I went back in 2016 and 2017, so it's been quite a long time. And This time was far more incredible because I knew people. I was creating connections. I was with Ben from Price Plow and Spencer from Price Plow, so they were introducing me to all these people, and people were recognizing me for my content. So it was just very cool to be on that side of like the coin, you know?
I know. I saw somebody on one of your posts say they were afraid to come up and say hello to you. They didn't want to bother you or something.
I know. I was like, what? Come up. What the hell?
So as you take a drink, so what were the highs and lows for you? Like, what did you like? What was the activity like?
I mean, I think one of the biggest highs is just the atmosphere of the people. Like, I worked the Fit Butters booth on Friday. So I got like a different perspective there and got to see everybody get super excited about different products and stuff. And then walking around the expo and just talking to different brands and seeing all the different products and new innovations that are coming up. It was just really cool to be a part of that and to see all the different energy drinks. There were so many different energy drinks. It was fun.
What up?
Coming from his private yacht somewhere in the Caribbean. How are you, my friend?
In the middle of the Caribbean. We actually at St. Thomas right now, so we're getting ready to pull out of port. So yeah.
It's good to finally see you. I know we share enough DMs here. It's good to finally see you live in living color, I guess.
I know. It's good to be here. I'm glad we actually have service. So I've seen enough talking to everybody. It's finally officially meet everybody, except Caitlin. She's my little sister. So
Sean, we were just kind of talking about the Arnold. I know you popped in for a minute.
Yep.
Like, what were your highs and lows? What were you liking? Like talk about the big picture, because I'm sure you've been there before.
Yeah, so this was probably the busiest Arnold I've seen in my entire life. And actually, you know, I know you might have already mentioned this, but now they're going to 4 days,
Yes.
which is super freaking awesome, you know. But yeah, I mean, just since, you know, before COVID and all that stuff was, you know, phenomenal. But it's nice to see that everybody's back in the swing of things, a lot of new companies, and a lot of old companies, you know, the animal cage still being, you know, the animal cage. I think that's always been my favorite part. Just because, you know, coming from a powerlifting background, you know, the animal cage is the animal cage.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Was
having never been there before, are you able to get to see everything in one day, or do you need multiple days to kind of take it all in?
It depends. In my personal opinion, I mean, you know, for people like us, if you have a list of people you need to see, you could probably get it done in one day. But I would suggest planning multiple days. Like if you can afford to take for the 2027, if you can afford to take Thursday through Sunday and actually go do it, go do it.
Yeah, like Sean said, I mean, you can do it in one day if there's like you said, if you have a list of people you have to see, if your must go to booths, because not every booth is gonna have a line that's like 30 deep, and then you can get in and around because like they have like certain people that are doing guest meet and greets, right? So you can get around that and kind of get in there and see the booths you want to do. So yeah, you could do it one day. But also
Yeah, for
Sean
sure.
said too, yeah, old booths there. I mean, Gaspari had a booth there this year, and I don't think Gaspari has had a booth there since before, I don't know, maybe 2017.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah, so it was good to see like some of these like legacy brands kind of come back to the fold because they realize like, oh, maybe we do need to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it
so
was
what?
good to see Rich. I stopped by and talked to him for a few minutes while he was at the booth. It's hard to miss him. He's always dressed super sharp. He's always got his blue little dress jacket on, and all that stuff. So super, very humble dude. But it was good to see them back at the Arnold. Um, let's see. There was so many unique booths. It was hard to really pay attention to everything. So, like I said, if you have that list of people you need to see, you can do it in one day easily. But if you're there just to experience the experience, not gonna happen.
There was something that I read was a young LA that had a Corvette or a Lambo or something suspended.
Lambo.
They had the new Ferrari. Nope, it was a Ferrari. It was the new.
Ferrari.
I want to say it was the F12. Maybe I could be wrong, but they
Okay.
had the new Ferrari up there. Beautiful, beautiful car. It's actually the same one that Ryan Hughes has. It's just a different color. Um, Dom from Raw actually has one too. Same one, super. $450,000 car. Just sitting on top of the Connex box.
Caitlin, any energy? I know you're walking around with look like a Baron can. You had a chrome or a silver can, and I'm sure it's probably under wraps. But were there anything good flavors for the energy drink people that did you want to share or can share?
Yeah. So that mislabeled or unlabeled can I posted about it. It was Ghost Yoo-hoo. So Ghost leaked or not leaked. They showed that they were coming out with a Yoo-hoo RTD protein. It
Yep.
is so
Money.
it's beautiful. It's like perfect to Yoo-hoo. So one of the best protein RTDs I've ever had. My husband stole the rest of it and drank it all. So if that says anything. But some of the best energy drinks from the weekend. AN ABE came out with an icy collab, and they
Okay.
did a blue raspberry icy. I reviewed it last night, and I'll post a video probably tomorrow. It's unbelievable. It's like a melted blue raspberry slushy.
Okay.
So iconic. And then 3D came out with the orange cream, which really good, great orange cream. They executed it very well.
Yeah, I
Gorilla
had a
Mind,
couple of those.
yeah, I did too. Gorilla Mind did a collab with Young LA to do like an exotic coffee. I don't know if we're
Yeah.
gonna see that, but another really cool thing. And yeah, I think as far as energy drink goes, those are like the heavy hitters and some of the things that I was really excited about.
Yeah. Raw's, no, excuse me, Rain's watermelon sour gummy was really good.
I actually didn't get to go to the Rain booth because I was just so focused on so many different things. I didn't run by there, but I wanted to try that one because I heard good
Yes.
things.
Tijan, the big black dude that is always on the Rain, I've known him for years, super good dude. Every time I see him, I jump on him. He tried to jump on me this year, and he's 350 pounds. So I was like, bro, you trying to break me. So he went and got me one, and it was really good. I posted a video on it. Very, very good. It's exactly what you would want from a watermelon sour gummy.
Yeah, and I'll add that Bum came out with their new strawberry kiwi,
Yep.
and
Yep. Good.
I'm obsessed with it. I went and bought a case from Vitamin Shop.
Yep. Yeah. Very, very good.
So last question, and then we'll get on to Dave and PJ because I don't leave them out of the fold here. Like
No.
what booth or booths were the places to be? Because I heard Young LA, because I heard they were giving out shirts like it was free candy. Or like what
Yep.
else were the hot spots?
Caitlin, I'll let
Brandon,
you start.
I personally didn't even want to look at the Young LA booth. I'm not into that kind of stuff, and it looked like way too much, way too like just over the top, unnecessary stuff. I really enjoyed being at the Gorilla Mine booth. I enjoyed being at the Ghost booth. I enjoyed the Muscle Sport group just because I know those people and I connect with them. Same thing with Fit Butters, just because of the people more than anything. And then the Quinn Singles booth, and I probably spent the most time at the Raw booth because I know Dan and I wanted to meet Christian, and I was able to do that, so that was really cool.
Brandon, were you
Yeah,
able to go around? I was saying, Brandon, you were there for a day. Were you able to meander around, or were you just stuck at your booth?
No, so I didn't have a booth this year. Yeah, so I was just walking the
Oh,
show. So yeah, no, I was perusing the field. So I got to see everybody. I went to obviously Animal. Animal's my favorite booth. I think it's my favorite brand just because I'm an old head. So definitely got to go there. I like the Stacked Pavilion. A lot of the newer brands that don't get a lot of attention that you're not going to see like in a GNC or a Vitamin Shop there doing their thing. So and again, like Caitlin said, it's the people, right? I think Ryan from Pit Butters is an awesome guy, so I always make sure to go say hi to him. The Muscle Sport guys. So anyone that just has good people working it and they can actually talk to, I think those are the booths that are always going to bring the attention, bring the vibes.
Yeah. I'll add this one more thing is that I had the opportunity because I was with Ben and Spencer from Price Pile. They were doing a podcast with Animal. We went on top of the Animal booth and we were able to
oh
like
wow,
see Arnold from above and like be right on top of the cage. It was epic.
yeah.
wow. So PJ, let's talk a minute here because I know a lot of people follow you, but let's talk about your Oreo review that you did here for the fans that
That was
haven't
crazy.
seen it. And we'll see if anybody after that still wants to do Oreos. But PJ, share with us what you did.
So I took the zero sugar Oreo and a regular Oreo, put it on a s'mores stick, and then I took a blowtorch to it, and it didn't do anything. I mean, not even the cream in the center. It started to get a little melty, but you saw how long I kept that thing on there, and that thing is hot, and it didn't do nothing. And then I tasted it for fun, and it tasted like charcoal. But yeah, it's crazy. And I had a couple people message me saying like there's other brands out there that do that. Like I guess Doritos are like gasoline, so we might have fun with that next. I
I
saw
was
someone talk about it. I'm like, I gotta try it, and I'm blown away. I'm looking at my kids in the video. I'm like, you guys eat this, which I can't say nothing. I had a couple last night.
I mean, they're Oreos. How can you not? But
Right.
but at
You
least
can't
you
say
know what
no.
you're getting.
Caitlin, what were you gonna say?
I was saying do Cheetos next because apparently my husband was saying that those like light up because I showed him your video and we were like, oh, that's kind of crazy, and he was like, it's the opposite of Cheetos. Those literally light up as soon as you start putting anything on them.
That's what I would expect is like food to like at least melt or catch on fire. But it's crazy that even the cream filling, like you would have thought it would have poured out. It didn't even do that. Like,
I did
this
an
is
experiment
wild.
like with the Walmart brand Great Value ice cream sandwiches because I saw a reel where
Yes.
they melt, and I put them in my garage in the middle of summer in Florida. They don't melt, and it's disturbing.
But they're good as shit.
That's wild. Yeah, that's
Hey,
true.
Brandon and Dave, you have multiple boys, and Brandon, you have a little guy. I mean, is any of this extra no sugar, extra protein, is that enticing you at all to kind of have your kids feel a little better, or is it make any difference?
No. So my kids are very, very picky eaters. At this point, it's a battle not worth fighting every single day, every single meal to try to get them to eat right. And PJ, you're shaking your head, so I think you know exactly what I'm talking about here. So we have only so many battles within our system here. I can't fight with them all the day. So it's try to get a good couple of meals in, but if whatever they want to do after that, I'm not going out of my way to do extra protein Oreos or cereal or any of that junk like that.
My youngest just wanted Doritos. He got a bag of Doritos. I wasn't arguing.
My son is 17, so it's really hard because he just wants to eat a bunch of pizza rolls and this easy shit that he can throw in the microwave. I'm like, bro, like it's difficult, and it's the same thing. He sees all this. Oh, well, Dad, it's got protein. Sure.
Yeah, I'll try. Like I'll try and swap out some of the bad stuff for maybe some more of the quote unquote healthier stuff. I was out at Expo West right before Arnold, and there was all kinds of protein functional foods. I had the healthy pizza rolls, the mushroom type burgers and stuff like that. So I'll buy it and I'll see if I can slide it in there, but I won't fight him on it if he knows and he can say, Dad, what are we doing here? Like
Yeah.
And I'll just go back to
Well,
the old
like
stuff.
Legendary is, taking a step, forward with their macaroni and cheese and the new noodles that they just released or announced. But even then, I've never been a big functional foods, you know, supporter. It's I understand it's convenient, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, just whole food is always going to be, you know, easier or better.
King.
Yeah, because I think we all discussed that at the end of the day, we're gonna grab a real Pop Tart. We're gonna grab a real Oreo. We're gonna grab like the real naughty stuff. We're not gonna watch the less sugar or the processed or whatever. Which if we're gonna be dirty, we're gonna be dirty.
Yeah. At the end of the
Absolutely.
day, like you said, I mean, it's do you just see? I used to love Oreos, but I hate them getting stuck in my teeth. So it doesn't matter if the Lenny and Larry's Oreos are they're relatively good, for what they are. But like you said, at the end of the day, if I want some fat good food, I want some fat good food.
That's the best when they get stuck in your teeth. You get leftovers like 10 minutes
Yeah, you,
later.
you get to savor it for an hour.
Right.
But see,
Yeah,
for
I'm
me, I'm gonna
definitely
eat.
real food. Like that is just my like people ask me all the time, like, can you review this functional food? And I'm just like, I don't eat that stuff. Like I eat majority whole food because I feel the best when I'm doing that. It keeps me satiated
And I'm not even. I mean, some of the protein bars are pretty good, and actually, this is probably a good segue into the David bar. But some of the protein bars are relatively good. The whoopie pies, I think, are phenomenal. Once Jason gets back into it because he had some issues, but the redefined food ones are relatively good. But overall, I mean, I'd rather eat steak and rice, or
all day.
you know.
Yeah, so I guess Brandon and Dave, are you following the class action lawsuit now with David Bars?
Yeah, I saw what was going on, and I saw Caitlin's video from earlier today on it. So yeah, I'm up to speed on it, but I personally I've never had them before, so I can't really speak on like the quality of having those, or they don't, or if they rip up my stomach or anything like that. But yeah, I see they're in the news, that's for sure.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Like I
The
said
new
in the
ones
video,
are okay.
I've been threw them out, like took a bite, threw it out, and that man will eat anything. So it's like concerning.
Have you had them, Brandon? Because I don't know if you're a bar person. I never see you really talk about bars at all.
Yeah. So they sent me like a box to try. And I mean, like they're all right. Like I'm not gonna like go out of my way to see them. If I'm at like a gas station and there's like they're sitting there, I'll grab one. Um, I don't get too into the weeds like with the macros and things like that at bars. Like if it's got some protein in there and it's like a bar, like I treat it like I just treat it like a candy bar, right? It's there and quick. So like I said, they're all right, but like I wouldn't go out of my way for them.
I always question when I see these class action lawsuits for the different supplement brands, like how does the average consumer know and how are they taking it into the lab to have it tested? It's like, oh, this doesn't taste right. I mean, I wonder what maybe somebody knows, like what instigates a class action lawsuit, especially on a bar.
Honestly, I think in this case, it was probably one of those. Have you had a David bar? If you have, call this number. Be a part of the lawsuit. That type of thing. Because like you said, what average Joe is going to be like? This bar tastes a little high in fat. Let's go send it to the lab. Like most
Yeah.
people don't know the difference.
Well, I'm pretty sure it all started with back in August, Consumer Labs did a testing of a bunch of different protein bars, and David failed
Mhm.
for the same reason, like too much fat. They were lower in protein than they were advertising, and they were higher in calories. So I'm pretty sure it probably stemmed from that. People maybe heard that and then started doing third party testing as well.
Yeah, I wonder. So obviously, we're all in the know, but for the average consumer, though, I wonder if David is actually if it's their demise. Obviously, with the Epstein files, one of the executives getting caught in that, and then I forget what the ingredient is, but the ingredient they bought, so they couldn't use it. I don't know if there was some kind of more behind this. And
Yeah,
Caitlin, you mentioned it today.
yeah, they bought EPG, which is the ingredient that would be the fat. So it's basically a fat that your body doesn't fully absorb, is what the claim is. I don't know how much research is put behind it, but it's basically saying that your body only absorbs zero point 0.7 calories instead of the 9 calories per gram that a normal fat would absorb. So obviously
Yep.
that would reduce the calories significantly. However, that means that it's going straight through you. So a lot of people like myself who have sensitive stomachs cannot touch that ingredient unless you want to be on the toilet and in a lot of pain. But that's kind of where it stems from, both lawsuits. So the first lawsuit they had last year was they bought EPG and then no other functional food could then use it. So it caused a real big mess. In fact, there's a protein chocolate brand. It's called like Hormols Chormols, and they had to redo their entire formula without EPG because they weren't
I
allowed to.
remember.
So that was their first lawsuit, and then this second lawsuit still stemming from like that.
Yeah. I mean, when I hear that, Caitlin, I remember. I reminds me of Olestra. I don't know if you guys remember the chemical Olestra back in the day with the chips and
Back
stuff.
in the day, yeah, that's just a lot of most people aren't going to remember that because they weren't around in the early 2010s, early 2000s. I just don't understand why these brands think they can get away with sliding extra shit in there that.
Yeah.
One up, trying to one up the next guy.
Yeah.
Also says a lot to me about integrity and like the brand's morals. Like if a brand is constantly in the headlines like every couple of months because of some sort of a controversy, it really makes me question that it's no longer coincidental.
Yeah. So guys, are we? It's fun.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say even if they survive this lawsuit thing, I don't think they're gonna survive the whole Epstein list ordeal. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically that's a deal breaker for a lot. Well, should be a deal breaker for everybody.
Should be.
Should be. Let me rephrase that. It should be a deal breaker for everybody. But some people are just gonna be like, oh, whatever. But I personally won't ever. Obviously, I wouldn't bother one anyways. But even if I did, that would definitely be a deal breaker for me.
And if you're a protein bar fan, there are much better and tastier options.
Way better ones. Way better. Shit, go get a Metarex bar. You'll be happy.
Oh yeah, I feel like the market is actually kind of moving more towards like higher calorie, a little bit higher macro protein bars because people are preferring like, hey, I'd rather it taste good than be like a dry piece of chalk.
Yeah, you don't want it crumbly and nothing against Quest, but their Quest bars have never been the best the best quality.
Yeah. So we'll go to Dave and PJ with this here because I know you guys do a lot of pre-workout reviews, and I'll defer to the other three that went with the Arnold. Are we kind of plateaued with pre-workouts? Are we finally like? Is there any innovation on the horizon aside from the amount of each ingredient? Because I feel now there's nothing new. I mean, PJ and Dave, you guys do a lot of reviews on them, and to be honest, a lot of the reviews sound almost the same. Not you guys, but again, this brand has 10 grams of this and 3.2 grams of that. I mean, is there anything in sight?
Well, I think you're right, John. It's just the recycling of the same ingredients, but it's just depending on what the brand wants to do. Do they want to have, sorry for the language here, like a dick measuring contest? Do they want to put in extreme crazy dosages of certain ingredients? Because I think that there's only a limited amount of ingredients really that you can play with, legally.
Yep.
And I think that we're kind of capped out on that. But I think that some of the people that are trying to do some things differently are some of these, the ways to like enhance the absorption of them or just something, little tweaks and little nuances like that. But really, I mean, like you said, it's kind of just a lot of the same stuff overall, but just, in little different formats here. But
it's like putting different pieces of puzzle together to see what works. But it seems like they're shying towards other products now. Like you see, like we were talking about last week, the performance based like creatines now, and then a lot of the pump products, stim free, like caffeine free stuff. That I've seen a lot more of that, like kind of shine into this because, like you said, in pre workouts you can only do so much with so many ingredients without getting into that gray area.
I mean, Brandon, you've been in the business for a while now. I mean, are you seeing anything new in the pre-workout space, or are you kind of feeling a lot of recycling as well?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of recycling. I feel like brands are turning to like patented ingredients, and then when you break down the patented ingredients, it's just something you can get, for much cheaper. So I think that's one way they're trying to be, I guess, innovative. The one I did see a company at Arnold that was using CBD in their pre-workout as opposed to L-theanine. So
Yep.
I mean, I guess as far as like, I don't know if that's like innovative or not. I thought it was something different. That's different. I don't know, like the legality of that across, every state, if you can take a pre-workout with CBD in it. But as far as like newness goes, you're right. I mean, everything's got 10 grams of citrulline, and a bunch of caffeine. It's like, give me something cool, right? Give me like something that's like, it doesn't have to be cool, but just like break it down, find, there's thousands of herbs out there, and a lot of them are like, DSHEA compliant and grass certified. It's like, you can use something that nobody else is using, even if it gives you the same, like Pycnogenol. Pycnogenol is a great blood flow. I know it's something more expensive, but like, give me a pre-workout with Pycnogenol in it, and then set yourself off differently that way.
You know what I kind of miss is like way back when, when Glaxon was a brand. You had Joey Savage, who was kind of bringing some new things to the market and things that people hadn't seen before. But I mean, you've only got so many guys like that are willing to do that and stick your neck out. But then the brand has to do a lot of education on these new ingredients. And sometimes they don't want to do that. Sometimes you want to just put something out there, try to make some money on it, and move on with your day.
Well, and that's the problem, because the average person goes in, and we talked about this before, they'll go pick up a pre-workout. Yep, it's got creatine, it's got beta-alanine. All right, I'm good. The average person doesn't know what ariagenesis is. The average person doesn't know what estrogen does. You know what I'm saying? So the more expensive ingredients, I don't see a lot of these companies doing that, because they're not going to, once again, spend the money on trying to educate these people.
Yeah.
Which is crappy.
You remember Hempire Subs, Dave? Did you follow Hempire Subs?
I did, yes. Yeah.
Because they were a brand that had CBD in it, but they took out the THC and just left the pure CBD.
Right.
And I know that he had not a lot of issues, but of course you put CBD on a label and people automatically think THC and legalities. Because Brandon, when you brought that up, I remembered that brand back in the day that it has since gone to the wayside.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So Brandon, I don't know so I'll let PJ chime in here, but I don't know if you've seen that brand Alien. It's Alien 51, but it's got 8 grams of beta alanine in it.
Jesus.
Impressive.
And it's got 10 grams of L-citrulline. It's got the normal, 3.2 betaine anhydrous, but
yep.
So Sean,
I would try it.
I did.
Go ahead.
I would totally do that. I want my skin to crawl.
yeah.
See, I don't react to beta alanine. I've yet to find the beta alanine like threshold. I guess maybe because like I've just been taking pre-workouts for so many years. Like I've yet to find that threshold. So maybe 8,000 is what I need.
That's the prime example of just playing around with the ingredients. I mean, they went after just the tingles, which Sean, I know you used it, right?
Yeah.
I got like 10 minutes of like a really warm, fuzzy feeling, and then it was like gone.
It was gone faster than it hit you.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I said to my thing, I said 10 minutes of fun. And it was out.
And here's the thing, like it was a pretty decent workout. I'm not going to say it wasn't a
overall.
good workout. Like it wasn't one of them pre-workouts where you're just like, oh man, I'm ready for this to end. But honestly, I mean, I told the guy, I was like, look, respectfully, you could probably bring the price point on this down. Nobody's going to know the difference between 6,000 milligrams and 8,000.
Right.
We all do this for a living, and I guarantee you, I wouldn't even notice the difference between 6 and 8. So save a little bit of money, put it back into the. It's not a brand, and I don't mean that negatively. It's just it's a product.
Right.
Exactly.
Sean, I asked PJ this, and I don't know if I asked you this. With that Alien 51, it's also got a tremendous amount of niacin in it. So it's almost like, is it the beta that's kicking, or is it the niacin, or is it like really both?
Well, I think, and I could be wrong here, but in my opinion and experience, I think they kind of counteracted each other to the fact where there was just so much of it, just flushed it out of your system so quickly. It basically, like I said, it just counteracted each other at a certain point.
Yeah. Okay. And Caitlin, I want to bring this up as well. It's the Caitlin show here today. How do you feel about Mike Sommerfeld?
I love it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I saw that video and I was like,
let me tell the story, behind it. So I had some random person send me his video. I was like, hey, did you see, I'm sure somebody sent this to you already, but did you see that he copied your video? And I was thinking, like he took the idea, which is like what social media is all about, right? People see an idea, they get inspired, they put their own twist on it. Cool.
Caitlin, hold on one second. So Brandon might not have seen it. So give a quick synopsis of your video.
Okay, so the video was creatine doesn't mix well in cold water, so if somebody's having digestive issues when they're taking creatine, they should mix it in warm water so that it really dissolves. And so somebody sends me his video, and it's literally word for word. He took my entire script and just said it, even down to like my little quirky, dumb comments that I make, like crazy. And at first, I didn't realize who it was until I like went to his profile and I saw his stage photos, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is Mike Summerfield." So I did a response video, and I thought that my response video was pretty nice. And then some other guy that I follow was doing videos where he was like, "This is the original, this is the copycat," like calling people out. And I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna send you my videos." And then he did it, and a bunch of people have been calling him out now. And he didn't make weight at the Arnold, so I don't know. Maybe it's karma.
Wow.
Well, maybe he should have mixed his creatine in warm water.
There you go.
But I didn't see this, Caitlin. But I guess people were roasting you, saying you plagiarized him. At least that's what one of the guys was saying.
No, they were just roasting me in my comments because they were roasting me about
It's because she's a chick in the supplement industry.
Yeah, there was calling me dumb, calling me stupid, saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, but also some random old man came into my comments and told me that I need to start working out because I'm just talking about supplements and trying to sell people things. I was like, interesting. I'm trained to be a professional athlete. Follow me.
PJ, I have to ask, did O Amino do anything to your video today? Say anything back to you?
No, I tagged him in it too. Nothing.
Oh, what did I miss? Obviously, I've been on a beach all day, so I must have missed something.
What did we miss? You're on vacation. I had to go to work.
Oh yeah, well, I am working.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, hey, that is, and I will say that is the benefit of being able to create content. You can do it from wherever, and people love travel content. I got some pretty cool beach videos of some ghost cans today, and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to know what happened with your video.
There was 4 different products, and they were all prop blends. There was a nitric oxide booster, a fat burner. They're all severely underdosed across the board. It's crazy.
They're never going to respond.
No, they won't. I'd be shocked. And like the advertising, like, what does it say? Fuel for the everyday warrior. And it's just like they do the comparison charts to brand X and why they're better. I'm like, that's how I know you're bad. When you start doing that chart, we all know you're bad immediately.
You posted that one today?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go watch it when we're done. I'm gonna tag the dog shit out.
So talking about that, can anybody give a valid reason on why companies are still doing prop blends nowadays? New companies, not the legacy brands that can almost play, I don't want to be plagiarized, but is there a reason at all that these companies can give?
No.
They're just trying to cut costs. That's it. They're trying to keep the system a little bit.
No valid reason.
Like, if you're going to go all in a supplement, go all in. Like, make it the right way. Spend the money. Make it the right way. Sell it to the right people. But it's really, at the end of the day, these people are just trying to make a quick buck.
They got a guy in the kitchen just taking scoops and just...
Yeah. They're ready to a bulk drum somewhere, and every brand that wants to come out is like, hey, I want to buy, let me get bulk A, let me get bulk B, and they're just hoping like they're just going to make a quick buck, get in, get out, get their money, and then, on to their next project,
I've had that with some of the off-brand prop blends before where a different flavor actually is more effective than the other one. I'm like, yeah. Like, why is grape hit harder than cherry?
Yeah. No, another kind of peeve of mine that I'm seeing more, and I'm sure you guys see it as well. You look at a pre-workout, and there's 6 ingredients. Starts off, 8 grams of citrulline and 3.2 grams of beta-alanine, and all of a sudden you see 250 milligrams of tyrosine and 100 milligrams of CDP choline. And I just never understand that, like why companies, they come out swinging, but then it's like, we'll trick you with the first 2 ingredients being clinically dosed, and then the rest will just put dog shit.
That might go to what Sean was saying earlier, is that most consumers that don't know what they're looking for, they only know 2 or 3 particular ingredients. And if they see that, then automatically they're like, okay, this is good to go. They like Sean said, citrulline could be creatine, caffeine, and then like maybe that might be the extent of it.
Maybe beta-alanine, just because everybody knows the team is, right?
Yeah.
Caffeine's a hot one right now. Everybody wants caffeine.
Yeah. there's some crazy caffeinated pre-workouts out there. I'm just like, can we chill, guys?
That depends on the brand
reason
too,
for
though. Like
500-600
I've said it before, a pollen hit's totally different than, like Dark Labs, and I love them both, but
Yeah,
they,
but
the same content.
but Apollon does it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just throwing everything plus the kitchen sink in there. They're actually doing it the right way. Like you said, it hits different. Their 500 milligrams of caffeine hits way different than brand X with 600 milligrams of caffeine for no reason.
Right? Yeah.
So what questions here do we have? I know we're kind of going through stuff here, but what else is people seeing here? I know, Sean, you probably got some things that you maybe want to share.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot I want to say. No, actually, we had a mini conversation earlier about contest prep, and I think I might be the only active competitor in here as far as bodybuilding goes. And you had asked me what do I pull out as far as supplement wise, and I might be an anomaly. So for me, I'll run pre-workout all the way up till the day, not the day before, but the week of, because I'll stop actually lifting. Hypothetically, if the show's on a Thursday, Tuesday will be my last real lift. Um, but I for clients, I usually suggest, depending on how they respond. Um, 'Cause some people they'll retain a little bit of extra water depending on what they're taking. Some people just don't really digest depending on the pre-workout. So I'll normally pull it out like a week, give or take ahead of time. All pre-workouts, all BCAAs. Obviously, we'll run creatine all the way through the show. We'll still put creatine in the morning of the show. Just because that's something, in my opinion, that we all know, you need to keep that in 24/7 year round, right? It's if you already take it and you pull it out, you're actually going to look worse, you know, um, because it's not doing its job. But as far as you know, I do like seeing all these companies go to, no artificial dyes, no artificial sweeteners, because that allows us to run stuff a little bit longer, you know.
Yeah, I almost thought I brought this up a few times. I almost feel like what's old is new again. Like right
Yeah,
now, everyone's coming out with flavored creatine, and that was big in the '90s with EAS. Again, dating myself here.
yeah, it was. You're right. It really was. And I've said this a million times. I like drinking my creatine on the way to the gym. I have like a 20-minute drive to the gym, so it's not really that far. But once again, I'm an anomaly. I like my creatine cold. I'll throw an ice cube on after it's mixed. I'll mix it first, but then I'll throw an ice cube in it because I just like drinking cold water. So I drink that, sip on it on the way to the gym. Um, but all these companies coming out with all these new flavors is super cool. However, I will say I like Animal's new chews. I like Core's new chews. Panda just dropped a whole line of new creatine chews. They're really good.
Yeah,
I
Brandon,
think
we
our first
talked a lot.
year is gummies too.
Yeah, so Great Bites, I'm sure y'all have all seen me post about them. They are third party tested, and that's what I told the guy when he originally contacted me. I was like, man, look, like I'm not even gonna entertain this idea because he originally messaged me with the Focus gummies that he has, and even then I was like, bro, no offense, I'm not even gonna entertain speaking to you if you don't have third party testing. I don't believe in. I'm a child. I'll eat gummies 24/7. Let's be realistic. But when it comes to a functional product, we all know how the cook down process goes, right? So if you're not able to actually show me some third party testing, not something you paid your buddy that knows a guy that knows a guy to give you some paperwork, then nobody's going to even believe in this product. And they just released it at the height of everybody calling out the creatine gummy issue. So, you know,
I'm still suspect here myself. I mean, I think there's still more negativity on gummies in general. For me personally, it still takes a shit ton of evidence or believability, I guess.
yeah. I'll get you over the third party testing so you can see it. Well, you're obviously not right now, but yeah, like I said, I mean, that way you can look at it and, let me know what you think. But, I was impressed with it. I'll put it that way.
Right. Brandon, so the last couple of podcasts we've asked like, what are maybe ingredients, whether it's standalones that are kind of essential that you always use? I mean, I'm sure fish oil because of obviously your background, but
Yeah,
are there
yeah.
any things that maybe people aren't using that you always recommend should be used?
I mean, I'm a big carnitine. I use carnitine tartrate daily, multiple times a day. That's probably a big one. And just like some like the essential, like I'm a big alpha lipoic acid guy. I'll take that, I'll take that before I go to bed. I'll take that in my pre-workout. And then I'm big on like CoQ10. Like I take a lot of CoQ10, and it's
Okay.
just like the general. So like all these naturals, they fit well into like your sports nutrition products, and they play so well together. So those are probably some of my non-negotiables.
See, I'm on a stat. I've been on a statin for years because my cholesterol is just a hair higher, and I didn't know how essential CoQ10 was until more recently, and it kind of scared me that I was using it for so long, not going with no heart issues. But now for me, that's my staple every day as well.
Yeah, same. I take CoQ10 every single day. First one is a microfactor packet, so it's like one of those like micronutrient packets. So it has like your multivitamins, it has like your EFA, your antioxidants, but it also has CoQ10 in there. So I've been taking it for like almost a decade at this point.
Yep. So PJ, I know we on your stack you were using HMB, and I don't know if there's anything to report. But again, another product that was old is now new again. I'm still a little suspect on HMB, but I don't know. Are you seeing anything from it?
I've used one bottle of the basic Nutrix so far, so got to at least run 2 to get any type of feedback from it. So we're on to the second one.
I'm actually super
But
curious on it as well because I've heard performance benefits from it.
Yeah, we were talking about it a couple weeks ago. That's what I told you. I just started it, so we'll see. I mean, a lot of people are using it. The creatine and HMB is like a hot thing too right now. People are coming out that left and right.
Yeah, Panda
I brought
and both.
I brought HMB back to my stack probably fall, right before Halloween. I started adding it in because again, it's what's old is new, and I was looking for something that like you only take too much creatine, and you only take too much beta alanine. But I tell you, for me, I live in a calorie deficit. I'm a very like anti-aging. I want to grow old, but I try and keep my calories down. But I also don't want to be frail and weak in the gym. So I find the HMB allows me still to like put up good numbers in the gym, still allow me to gain muscle build while living in that calorie deficit.
It seems like
what do you
recovery seems to be a little bit better towards the end of the first bottle. So
I was
what
curious,
do you got? What
what's
do you
the dosage that you guys are taking of that? Do you know how many grams off the top of your head?
3.
3?
I think the Nutrix is about the same.
Yeah, that's average. That's a clinical size dosage.
Mhm.
and the funny thing was that's what EAS used in the 90s. It was 5 grams of creatine and 3 grams of HMB called Betagen. So again, it's I'm always just like, what's old is new, and I think some of these companies are actually claiming that they did this, but I'm like, Bill Phillips called. He wants his innovation back from the 90s, or Scott Connolly from Metrics wants his innovation back, and I'm throwing a lot of names out here.
Yeah, and it's not something that's going to make an 80% difference. It might make a 5% difference.
You've got to be in tune with your body to know.
You do, you really do. It's not something that Joe Schmo that goes down to Walmart and picks up the bottle off the shelf is going to even notice.
Yeah.
And I think the studies were saying like it was more beneficial for men over 40. So like even like these guys who are like in their early 20s that are trying to like jump on the creatine HMB bandwagon, like yeah, they're not probably going to notice it as someone who's like 45 and trying to like maintain some of that muscle that they slowly are losing year after year.
Yeah, Panda just sent me their creatine HMB, so I might start running it to see, since I am a performance-based athlete, to see how it actually impacts me, because I think that'd be interesting because I am so in tune with my body and I literally am robotic in my routine.
Who is that,
Same.
Caitlin? What brand?
Panda.
What brand, Caitlin?
Yeah, I got it
Okay.
at home too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They sent it to me when they sent the new sleep, the snooze.
Yeah.
And then Animal obviously sent it. The snooze is phenomenal. I'm actually I switch back and forth between that and Unmatched sleep. The sleep from Unmatched. Ghost is really good, but from what I understand, that might be going away. Their sleep.
Interesting. So, Brandon, a lot of the followers that we have are educated people like us, and once in a while, I have some new followers that are kind of learning and what's new. If you don't mind, I consider you obviously the fish oil expert. Give a little bit. Do you mind giving just a little overview on how important fish oil is, regardless of age, health, everything else?
Yeah, so I mean, really, if someone's eating fish 3 times a week, you're not getting EFAs, right? Your omega threes are coming from the fish, or they're coming from a plant based like like your chia seeds, but the conversion rate's down. So EFA, your joint, your heart, your blood pressure, all that stuff is impacted by high EPA and DHA. If that's not in someone's regimen, then they're missing the boat on just blood pressure, cognitive support. I've had parents give it to their children for like ADD, ADHD type things like that. So it's amazing what omega threes can do for the body if taken at high dose. You're not gonna get away with like a 500 milligram. You got to be more closer to that 1 to 3 grams, depending on like what your target goal is.
And Brandon, when someone's looking at fish oil at the store, I mean, let's face it, there's tons of different oils, and sometimes companies are using the crap parts of the fish. I mean, what are good sources that maybe they should look for when they're looking at the ingredient panel? What are the top sources?
Yeah, so for me, I always look for a single source, right? If it's I call it fish stew. So if you have a fish oil that's got like some sardines, some anchovies, uh, you know, and other like small minnows, things like that. It's like a fish stew. It's not going to be really, you're going to get more of that fishy burp, that fishy taste. If you find one that's like a single source, I use Alaskan pollock. It comes out of Alaska. It's made in USA. On the back, it'll break it down. So if it's 1,000 milligrams of fish oil, you want to see what that EPA DHA adds up to be, because that's really what the active ingredients are. I use a 750 EPA, a 250 DHA. So I know like out of that 1,000 grams, it's the active ingredients.
And it's still the same of best way to take it was a fatty meal. That's never changed, correct?
Right. Fats play with fat. So anything, your vitamin D's, your K's, your E's, anything that has a little bit of fat in it, you're going to take all your fat vitamins together with that.
Okay. All right.
Fish oil is probably one of my favorite supplements. Period. End of story. Like, it's so underrated.
Exactly. And people think, oh, well, I had fish sticks, or, I ate fish once like last Tuesday, or, it's Lent right now, so I'm getting my fish Friday. And it's like, well, the other thing is it wild caught, or is it farm raised? Because farm raised stuff is not going to have all the EPA, DHA that you're going to need from the wild caught. So with wild caught, I use, like I said, I use Wiley's Finest. It's a brand I love, and it's like manufactured in Ohio. So it's quality, American made, American sourced.
Piggybacking.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Has anyone tried David's cod?
That's a joke, right?
I'm just bringing it back. I mean, it's out there. I have not tried it, but.
Brandon, you mentioned a lot of good stuff, but for me personally, like I take extra during the winter because obviously Dave and I are in the New England states here. My skin dries out really well. Not that I feel a tremendous difference, but I do feel I'm less dry, less flaky when I have a good source of fish oil. That's just me.
Same in Minnesota too.
Oh, it's cold there.
Yeah. Dave, do you use fish oil at all living up here in the New England?
I do. Yeah. Several grams a day. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I always go extra if I'm in a harder training block. I'll always up my fish oil. So like right now, my fish oil is up.
Okay.
Same when I'm in prep, I'll push it up just a little bit as well.
Was there at the Arnold any new kind of protein flavors, any new protein innovation? I mean, I think maybe that's another one. Are we leveling off on the protein innovation a little bit?
I don't know if it's if it's a new flavor. It's new to me, but a brand that was there, it's called Imitation. I mean, they're an old brand, right? They've been around for a long time, but they're one of those brands I always feel like kind of gets lost in the sauce, right? Every year I go to the Arnold, Imitation, I know they sell stuff. They had an apple turnover protein flavor that was phenomenal. I mean, you could taste the like crisp apple and even like the flaky outside of the turnover. I mean, by far my favorite tasting protein that I've had there. And I love Muscle Sport. I love all the flavors they do. But this apple turnover that Evogen put out was phenomenal.
I haven't tried that. I didn't see them.
It was good. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about the Muscle Sport proteins, I mean, obviously, Caitlin, you posted about that, and you could see the teasers that are going to be coming out soon. But those gourmet flavors, those sound good too.
It's hard to beat. Jason is the chef for a reason.
it's crazy because like I was saying, because I interviewed him, I was like, bro, like your lean whey protein is already like gourmet. What is this going to be? But really at the end of the day, it's just, he's using some cheaper forms of protein, not
Sure.
necessarily bad, but like, they're using the whey protein isolate, the hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, but they're also mixing in some concentrate and some milk isolate to kind of bring up the mouthfeel, bring up the creaminess, add a little bit extra carbs and make it more gourmet. And the flavors sound crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really the ball game with there is just flavor of the proteins.
Exactly.
Who's got the better flavor?
Mm-hmm.
So, talking of muscle sport, so Sean, I'll defer to you on this because I know you know. Are they still putting any effort into their supplement line, or are they really focusing on the protein line? Because I feel like pre-workouts and everything else have kind of died a little bit.
Well, they just released their new pump, plus hydration, so it's relatively good. Jason's really putting a lot into the plus hydration formulas, and they're all good. He has his creatine plus hydration, he has his aminos plus hydration, and all that stuff. And we all know that none of these products are going to be, even remotely worth a damn if there's no hydration or if there's no sodium behind them to really get intracellular, right? So he is still pushing on the pre-workouts because he has his pre-lean revolution, he has his creatine, he has all that, but he's such a good flavor formulator. He doesn't, and I don't think no matter what he comes out with as far as the performance side, he's always going to be known for how good he is on his flavor profiles. But then it goes back to he hits the nail on the head, even on the flavor profiles for his creatine, for his aminos, like the Groovy Grape, amazing. I mean, me and Caitlin talked about this on the last time we were on the podcast. That Groovy Grape is amazing. The Big Apple tastes like an apple, So it's he knows his flavors, but once again, I think he's just so good at his protein. Nobody's really gonna, step past it. It's hard to get past that, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I look at Muscle Sport, great product, I almost look at them like Ghost a little bit, where I feel like Ghost is 80% energy drinks and 20% supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ghost has great pre-workouts. The Ghost Legend All Out is phenomenal. Legend is phenomenal. Their EAAs, their Welch is great across the board, whether it's their energy drink or their intra workout. It's phenomenal. But once again, Ghost is always going to be known for their energy drinks.
Yeah.
I think Ghost just does brand and community so much bigger than a lot of these other brands. Like they're just, who they are, and they're trying to bring people together to the level.
Ryan Hughes did a phenomenal job, from the ground up, from day one. He's always been phenomenal. But like you said, the Ghost community itself is just. I'm not saying this because of the brand unmatched, but they are unmatched. You can't.
Yeah.
If you love Ghost, you love Ghost.
And they do collabs better than anybody else. Like I just I posted my review of their Cocoa Puffs. It's literally like the bottom of a bowl of Cocoa Puffs. It's crazy how authentic it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calcula was the same. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
PJ, you did a review today of kind of an interesting protein. If you want to give Thentic a quick shout out.
Oh, the plant protein. Yeah, I'm not a plant guy. They sent it over, and it's pretty good. I made this like mousse out of it, and it had originally with just water, it had like that grainy taste to it, like that organic superfood taste. And I made it some for my wife, and I'm like, she ain't gonna like this. This is gonna be hilarious. She made her own yesterday. I'm like, that's something to be said right there. If she can get down with it, then it's good. Like she's stuck in her ways.
It's really hard to do a good plant protein.
It's I give them credit, and they listed exactly how much of each they put in there on it. Like they did a good job with it. And a while ago, I did their stim pre-workout, and for a well-rounded pre-workout, it was great. That's why I said at the end of the video, I said so far 2 for 2 for this brand.
What brand?
Yeah.
Thentic.
It's called Thentic. THENTIC.
Okay.
And then Dave, you kind of surprised me with doing an MTS. Like I know Mark Lobliner, very well respected, but I feel like MTS is kind of like one of those brands that's kind of been pushed aside a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's that one kind of came out of the woodwork, right?
Yeah. Brandon, do you use protein powders? Like, what do you have a go-to, or are you kind of all
Yeah.
over?
Yeah, no. So I'm using, I think I'm using Lean Whey right now from Muscle Sport. I actually use Vitamin World's PE, like precision engineered, like house brand as well.
Yeah.
They do they do a really good isolate. Just chocolate, nothing too crazy. But it's pretty clean. But yeah, I kind of bounce around. I really like it's hard to find. It's Body Logic. It's called Isology. They
Okay.
had a cinnamon roll one that like I was using for a long time, but I don't know if they discontinued or what. But I try and stick with isolates. It's just what I go
Yeah.
to. But yeah,
You talk about Vitamin
Does that
Shoppe. I
just
actually got.
digest better for you? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
yeah, I think it's just that, and just like I said, it's just easier on my stomach. And I've just always been like in the ocean. Like again, I'm old, so I've always been on the ocean. It's a little cleaner, a little faster digesting. So I just mix it with water and down the hatch.
Yeah.
I actually grabbed a sample from Vitamin Shoppe the other day, which was interesting. It was a beef protein, but it was also a pea protein together. So I just thought it was a really interesting mix. It really wasn't that bad. It mixed well and it went down smooth. But I've never seen like both animal and vegetable or vegetarian put together, which was interesting.
Yeah, are
50%
they trying to
vegan.
are they trying to do like more like for the mineral content? Like are they trying to like play like more like a whole food type protein? Because
It
like
would
if
have
you're a
to
beef
be.
person,
Yeah.
you're gonna go after that like whole food type
I mean,
consumer.
it was interesting. Macros was standard. I mean, it was, I'm just gonna throw random numbers. It was a gram or two of fat, single carbohydrates, 2, 3, and then, 20, 24 on the protein. So no, it was like a typical protein shake, but I guess I didn't deep dive well enough into like, the micronutrients and stuff.
Huh. I remember what was it, Carnivore, that really was
Yeah.
a when they first came out with their beef protein, it was rough, it was thick, but it got the job done.
Yeah, and that's when you go back though, when flavors were less, Sean, because I remember doing that in, like, 09, 10 that I was using that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you remember like chocolate was always good, vanilla was hit or miss, and like banana was just pure chemical.
It's probably why I hate vanilla still. It's just so
Yeah,
many bad
yeah.
experiences over the years. I don't even look at vanilla flavors on the shelf. It's like detrimental to my brain from years ago.
You know who has a good vanilla is actually Nitrogen Nutrition.
I did have theirs, and I gave them
Yeah, it's
a
actually
message.
it's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that one.
So, guys, Sean and I talked about this earlier. If you guys could bring back an ingredient or a product, like, what would you want to bring back? Resurrect something from the dead. I mean, Brandon, you've been around for a while. What are you missing that you'd love to see back?
Oh, there's two, and they're pump products. So I would say BSN's original nitrix. It was nothing fancy. It was
Pills?
basically like it was pills.
Yeah, I use
Yes, I
that.
remember those. Yep.
Yeah, and then or Muscle Tech's it was like their X9. It was like their X9 pump pill that you took kind of along with the
Yep,
vapor.
X9.
So,
Yeah.
and for some reason, they just give me like the best. They just give me the best pumps, and like I try and like Google like old like labels. Like they're nothing crazy. There was nothing like I think it was like a lot of ethyl esters. They're like their products were bonded to. It's like arginine ethyl ester, creatine ethyl ester. So maybe there's something to these companies need to bring back ethyl ester bonding to their products. But yeah, they just give me great pumps.
I remember using the nitrix pills. It was like 6 or 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was probably one of the cleanest
Yeah, it was
pumps that I
8.
had. I was a lot leaner back then, but
They
I
had
remember
some of the
like,
best
God, I gotta take
tasting
all 8 of
proteins
these
too.
fucking pills.
what do you say, PJ?
Synthesix was like one of the better tasting proteins back then too, if I remember. They only had a few flavors, but they were like the better ones overall.
Yep. PJ, is there something you'd want to bring back? I know you're fairly newer to the review game here, but
Yeah, but I've been using products forever. I would probably say only because of the commercials, Muscle Asylum Project.
Ooh,
You
that's
remember
been
the
a lot
guys in
since, yeah.
like what is it, Alcatraz ripping chains off the walls? As a young teenager, I was like, I need that. I don't think any of it would tasted good or worked well at all. But just seeing the ads, I was like, this is awesome. I'm gonna get huge. None of it happened.
That was like one of those niche,
Yeah. Yep.
products. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Dave,
you
what
got to
about
look
you?
up the commercials on YouTube. They're hilarious.
Dave, you've been using supplements I know you've been following me for 10 plus years, and I know you've used your share of supplements. Anything that's gone that you'd love to bring back?
Yeah, really nothing I can think of off the top of my head, Sean, to be honest with you. I mean, we are where we are now. It'd be great to live back in the DMAA eras where some of those pre-workouts felt like they felt and were the real thing, but we're not going to have that any longer. So I put it out of my mind.
But were you D ingredient guy?
Sure. I tried all those good
Really?
ones back in the day. I mean,
Okay.
obviously everybody talks about having Jack 3D, but all those brands that had it in there. I mean, there were things like, Black Market Labs had a great one. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but I just remember all these brands that had it. I mean, that was just a different experience and a different feel.
Yeah. Okay. Caitlin, anything specific for you? You want to resurrect?
Not really. No, I'm just kind of like I just go with the flow and I try different things, try new things. I love my staples, but there really isn't anything that I've had that like has been discontinued that I wish came back.
What about an energy drink flavor? We'll go your home base then.
Bring me my raspberry cream ghost. Where is it?
Yep, I already knew it. I already knew it.
Where is it? They actually put it back on the Vitamin Shop website last night or 2 nights ago, and I woke up to like 5 DMs from different people. Like it's on their website. I ordered a case. Yes.
I tell you, living in Caitlin's world, I'd bring back ABB drinks. Give me a speed stack or an NO speed pump. The ABB drinks were probably some of the best energy drinks that I enjoyed.
That's a good one. You enjoying them?
Is that
Cocaine energy drinks were good
The
way
cereal.
back in the day. They had a
Cereal
hot ball
flavor.
flavor. It was amazing.
look,
So,
look.
at first, Caitlin, I was like, okay, it wasn't bad. I couldn't drink it every day, but it's probably 3 days later. I'll have my second one here. It's growing on me. It's growing on me.
It's just so good. It's smooth.
Yeah, it's unique.
Yeah. For me to answer my original question here, for me, I'd bring back a Fedrin or Rip Fuel because a Fedrin was
Rip
like
That's what
Fuel.
we talked
the
about.
good
Yeah.
stuff back in the day. So
Just a heads up, I have 3%. So if I die, I die.
that's okay.
Ship sinking.
I know, right? I can swim, but this is a big ass ship, so probably not that well.
You'd be swimming for a minute.
So Sean, how long are you at sea for? Is it a week? Or how long are you at sea, brother?
Yeah, we left Sunday, and then we come back Sunday afternoon.
Is this just a random trip, honeymoon? Not honeymoon, but
No,
anniversary, birthday?
no, it's spring break. My son's 17, so he graduates
Okay.
this year. We take a lot of trips anyways, but we figured one more family trip before he's gone. I was active duty military for the majority of my adult life, so he joined the Navy like I did. So he leaves late July, and I'll be in prep. I start prep the day we get back. Um, so we just want to do one more trip before all that. So yeah, it's just a full solid week of a whole bunch of different places. Um, we did was it yesterday? No, 2 days ago we were at Royal Caribbean's private island, and then we had like a sea day yesterday, like a travel day, and then today was Saint Thomas, tomorrow's Saint Martin's, and then two more travel days, and then
Have you stepped on the scale this week?
it's hard. So there's a scale here, but the ship rocks, so it's not even
That's
remotely
excuses. I seen your
accurate.
bowl of cereal.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I'll only be up less than half a pound when I come back.
Oh, I'm sure. Just seeing you post the food, I'm like, wow.
Yep. And I'm eating over 8,500 calories a day normally. And John told me when I was gone, normally tells me 10 to 11,000 calories a day as it is. So, yeah.
Dude, how tall are you? What are you going to compete at?
6 foot. I'm around 250 right now. I'm
Okay.
super shredded, obviously, which I'm very lucky in that. But I have to be 217 on stage, which we're right where
Yep.
we were last year when I
Yep.
started prep. A little more solid, a little more conditioned. And last year I weighed in at 216.9, so I'll probably be 217 on the dot. But the good thing is I'll we weigh in the day before, so I'll have time to fill back up.
But you have to like up to 225 though, no?
217 for 6 foot for plastic for me.
Oh,
Yep.
you're
So
doing
six
classic. I thought you
six
were doing
one.
open.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
no,
I thought you're an open
classic.
guy.
No, I'm
All
a
right.
little guy.
And Dave, as we're winding down here, you just came off an awesome cruise yourself. You want to share a little bit for the fans?
Yeah, we did that. We did a Disney cruise. They had a new ship called the Destiny, which we did. A lot of fun. They have something there that's called the Kids Club, which is awesome because what you do is you hand your kid off. They can't get out of this club unless you come and allow them to come out. So It
Yep.
gives you and the missus some time to just get away, go to the adults only pool. It was beautiful.
Did they still have the CB, the micro, I guess the walkie-talkie phones, or did they change that?
No, I mean, obviously we're in the technology age, so my kids are just texting me on their iPhones and I'm sorry, their Apple Watches and stuff like that. But no, none of that. They are just in that zone, and that's it. Goodbye.
Were you on the boat that has the slide on the outside?
Yes, yeah. So they love that. They eat that up. I mean, that's just amazing.
So wait, you didn't do it?
I didn't do it because I'm all beat up. I can't do it. My back and my hip. I'm not in good shape to be doing bouncing around like that.
I'd go head first on my stomach.
Would you do it again, Dave? I think I asked you, but I don't know if you responded. Would you do it again?
Yeah, of course, sure. I would. It's so nice to unplug for those couple of days and have everything taken care of, where you don't have to worry about anything. I mean, really, it is so nice.
Yeah, I remember I did one in 14, and the waiters would come over and ask my son, "Can we cut your food for you?" I don't know if they did that
Mhm.
for you, but they're like, "Can we cut your food for you?" And I'm like, Jesus. But anyway,
Yeah, they really take care of you on those ships. That's for sure.
oh my. Well, guys, as we wind down here again, it's always been a blast. Is there anything else that maybe we haven't discussed that we want to share, or anything exciting, or?
Nothing
I'm
else
next
for
to go
me,
on a
man.
cruise. We booked ours,
Yeah.
Carnival. September,
I've
I think
never
we're
been on a
going.
cruise, so and I don't want to go on a cruise. I'm not a fan of just being in the middle of the ocean.
I'm not a fan of being locked on a ship. I always want a way out.
Yeah,
I'm not
same.
getting out on the water. So the first one we went on years ago, we got locked on the ship for 2 days during a hurricane, trying to outrun the hurricane. I don't have anxiety. I had anxiety. It was rough.
I'm the person who has a panic attack every single time I take a flight. Like as we're taking off, yeah, I had like 4 panic attacks this weekend.
It took me many years for me to say okay to another one, and the fact that we're bringing the kids, I'm like, okay, here we go.
So, Caitlin, you're saying the only water you want to be in is your morning ice bath or your afternoon ice bath?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'll go. I grew up on the beach, but I just don't want to be trapped on a boat. I like to have control, so I don't like planes or boats because I'm not in control of those things.
Agreed.
I get it. So, Brandon, as we wind down here, I mean, if you want to plug your online website, your Instagram, and we'll kind of go around the room a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm Bballo, BBAUL. That's my personal Instagram. Most of my stuff is through there. I do have Midwest Vitamins and Wellness as also my Instagram handle. It's also my online storefront. Just a place to get some products that people in my town and friends can't normally get at the local shop. So
Yeah, and one thing I have to say, Brandon, is it's not an overinflated website. It's stuff that you've tried that you kind of stand behind. It's not just anything and everything. So kudos to you for that.
it's a very curated mindset that I was going for.
Good. Caitlin, any new podcasts people can look forward to?
Me and Sean are going to do one next week recapping the Arnold. I'm going to have one of my friends I work with at Price Plow, Victoria. She's going to be on. We're going to talk some women's fitness stuff next week. So that's what we got. I got to do a solo one this week and figure out what I want to talk about, but I'm probably going to reflect on kind of like things that I've learned from the Arnold and where my head's at coming off of.
And that's on Spotify, correct?
But that's really all I got.
And people watch it on
What'd you say?
Spotify, correct? People watch it on Spotify?
Spotify or Apple? Yep, Spotify or Apple, the Powerhouse Mentality.
And your personal Instagram, if people want to follow you.
At Caitlin Kenna Fitness on Instagram and TikTok.
Perfect. And Mr. PJ?
Fit Dad Life 1. That's my handle across all the boards. Well, we are, Dave and I have been kicking around this idea of a podcast. We're going to try to kick off Basement Brothers. So I'm calling them out right here. We got to get moving on this, buddy.
That's right.
Let's go.
All right. Well, if you guys need help setting it up, I can help you guys get up with a shoestring here like I do. And Dave will save the best for last.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's cook.dave10 and mostly on Instagram, but on TikTok too, but not too much.
Yeah. So folks that are watching, obviously, put us all together. We probably have 100 years worth of experience. Reach out to us if there's any questions you have. We will give our best, most unbiased, review or explanation. We're here to help you make a better purchase or an educated purchase. Reach out. We've all been in your shoes back in the day, and whatever we can do to help, reach out to each and every one of us. And as always, we appreciate you guys following, listening, and let us know you're watching tomorrow, watching downstairs. give us a like, give us a comment, give us anything. Let us know you're there. And as always, thanks so much. Have a great evening.